Okay, it's time for Dear Ferocity, and this is where I give you life advice to questions that you have sent me via direct message. I have open DMs, and I don't mind. You know, I have all kinds of laser beams and security guards in my inbox, so you can send me questions, it's fine. And so I'm gonna answer some of these questions off the top of my head. I love travel. My mom worked for Delta Airlines my entire life. When I was growing up, I've traveled all over the world. It's an important part of my life, and so I'm excited to give you travel advice. Your first question is this. I'm about to go to the Netherlands, for graduate school, and want to travel all around Europe and Asia. I've been told it's cheaper to travel over there, but should I start saving and planning little trips now, or just wing it once I'm over there? Yeah, so this is what I would say. I would, if Europe, Asia, that's a big difference. If I would spend money now and plan ahead on the big flights. So if you are planning at some point going from Frankfurt to Bangkok or something, that's going to be a pretty expensive flight. So you want to plan ahead for those big flights. But all of those small regional trips, and certainly moving around Europe or going from, Kuala Lumpur to Phuket, Thailand, those are cheap little flights that you can buy like the day before. You can take train, a lot of different options. So I would say, plan ahead to spend money on the big, long flights, international flights, over 4 hours. Do that now. And then once you're there, yeah, you can wing it a bit. And there are a lot of last minute deals. And that's great. Also, if you're ever traveling regionally in Asia, if you get a chance to use Singapore Airlines for a short flight, do it. It is the best airlines in the world. You will have an incredible experience. 30 minutes on a small Singapore Airlines flight is better than 8 hours on a first class American flight. So there's that tea. Okay, another question. I am a recent graduate and I really want to move to Johannesburg. I've always wanted to go there to start my career. My sister is finishing up her last year in high school and I want to see her graduate, go to prom, and all of the important moments, but international plane tickets are not cheap. I'm concerned that I will regret missing some of these moments. What should I do? I want to follow my dreams, but am I being selfish? I don't think you're being selfish. Your dreams are your dreams. This is what I do when we're in these situations. I would say, flip the script. If your sister was about to graduate and wanted to go to Johannesburg as you are, and what would you tell her to do? Okay, that's something I try to think about. What would I tell people I care about and I mentor if they were trying to make the same decision? If you tell your sister, you know what, you're young, you have one life to live, get out there and travel, we have FaceTime and all of these other options, then I would take your own advice. I think sometimes when we're thinking as caregivers, it becomes difficult to think about what we need. So try flipping the script. What would you tell someone else in that situation? I think you should go. Okay, one more question. I have been kind of stuck. I am not motivated like I used to be, and I've been contemplating doing some traveling alone too, but I'm nervous to make the jump. What made you go? What research did you do prior to leaving, and how much money did you save? I know that feeling. Long story short, my mom died of a heart attack very suddenly in May of 2011, and I was grief-stricken for a year. I couldn't really do much. But once I began to come out of the fog, I was beginning to, I quit my job. I realized I'm going to have to find work and everything's going to change. I felt like I wanted to take the time to reintroduce myself to the world without my mother in it. I felt the need to get out there and see, what is this world I'm supposed to be living in without this woman who's so important to me? And so, fortunately, I had money that I was able to use in travel, and I traveled for 8 months by myself. It's surprisingly challenging traveling by yourself. You're making all of the decisions all the times. It can be lonely. If you're traveling through a lot of different countries, that also means you're traveling through a lot of languages. So that means you have to kind of get used to being on your own. I missed being sarcastic. I missed just getting to talk conversationally because unfortunately, I don't know like 12 languages. But it pushed me into an interiority, and I kind of had a lot of dynamic internal conversations and a lot of thinking that I needed to do, and writing. And so, I think it's possible to do. Save money and think about a budget. I did, Airbnb and like kind of staying with friends. You can stay in hostels. You can do a shorter trip. There are all kinds of different options. And again, you can invest in paying for like the big international flights. And then, you can kind of do cheaper, more budget flights or train rides for local, transportation. But I think it's worth it. It changed my my life, and I felt I needed to see the world that I was going to live in, and it means a lot that I was able to do that. So I wish you the best, friend. All right, thank you all for your questions. You can tweet me using the hashtag Dear Ferocity, or DM me if you want to keep it private. I'll answer your questions the next time we do Dear Ferocity. When we come back, Isaac and I are going to read your tweets. I don't know what's happened on Twitter in the last 5 minutes. Who knows? Who knows?